What is up, everybody? It's Cops Comics back with another video. This is haul number 4 for the channel, and today I'll be showing off the books I picked up between September and October of 2025. So my fall pickups, might title this one Halloween pickups with the books I'll be showing off. But without further ado, let's get into it. So books I'll be showing you are from the two LCSs I checked out in the last haul, a small show, an antique store, and some whatnot pickups. So, starting off all gas, no brakes with this one. Terry Neal, aka Mr. Terry's Old School Comics, had a small show in Bellevue, Washington. I believe it was called the Northwest Comic Con. It was supposed to be set up like an old school comic book show, and that's what it was. But some of the biggest dealers in the country were just set up inside of a Marriott ballroom, which was sweet. Terry was obviously there. You had Harley Yee, and then you had the Golden Age Guru, Jeff. Those are probably the three biggest names, but everyone just brought incredible, extremely rare books. Most of the show was Golden Age. For example, when I walked in, the first books that I saw in a dealer's wall that caught my eye was a low-grade AF-15 and a Crime Suspense Stories number 22. So I knew I was going to have myself an afternoon there. But first couple of books I picked up were The Thing number 1. And when I got this, it came in like 2 bag and board. So I thought I was getting both issues. Kind of bummed out to only get one, but it was $5. And then the next book was House of Mystery number 72. This reminds me a lot of House of Mystery number 64 with the woman in the glass tube trope. This is kind of similar to it. Anytime I see something like this, I'll pick it up. Centerfold's missing on this guy, but $5. Come on. Then the next dealer I went to, he had some really cool books, but his prices were absolutely terrible. Just got one book off of him, and that was Marvel Spotlight number 3, Second Werewolf by Night, first mention the Darkhold. This was $20. Not a bad price. Then the next book that I grabbed was from Jeff, the Golden Age Guru. I've been looking for this book for a little while now. Hasn't been too high on my want list, but I always tell myself if I see a price that I like and a copy that I like, I'll pick it up. And that's what I got with All-Star Western number 10. So he had this guy marked at 120, graded VG, a very beautiful presenting VG copy, but I talked him down to $100 on it. So shout out to Jeff for this deal. Can't find a copy that nice online for $100. Then I had to check out Terry's booth, and funny enough, the book that I picked up, I actually saw another guy's wall earlier, but he wanted $500 for it. It was in a bit nicer grade, probably just as well presenting, but that book was Planet Comics number 44, kind of similar to the House of Mystery book I showed off. You got a chick trapped in a bubble this time instead of a glass tube, or a bunch of girls trapped in bubbles. Yeah, Fiction House 1946. The centerfold is also missing on this book, and then the one staple on the bottom is popped, but Terry had this marked at 70. He was giving off $10 coupons at the door for any dealer, and I talked him down $10 from this. So yeah, marked at 70, got it for 50. Don't see this book come up on eBay too often, and especially not at a $50 price point for something that's this well presenting. So this is now the oldest comic in my collection and first Fiction House book. Very happy with this. Now we're heading into what's next. Looking at another LCS that I showed off in the last video. So after balling out a little bit at that show, I figured I'd take it easy and see what I could do for $20 at the shop. So went in there with $20, and this is what I grabbed. I started out in like their $2 section, and this was the first book that I saw, so I knew I was gonna have a good afternoon. Punisher number 102. Pretty low print run. end of the series book. I showed this off in my last video, but I paid a bit more than $2 for it. This is like a VF fine copy. Don't know how it found its way in the $2 bin, but I'm not complaining. Really happy to have 2 copies now. And then the next 2 books I got were Star Slayer number 3 and Star Slayer number 2. The first and second Rocketeer. It would have been cool if the Rocketeer was on the cover of this one. It'd probably be worth quite a bit more. But who does the cover on this? Mike Grell. Incredible Mike Grell cover with a great Dave Stevens second story in the back. $4 together for those. And then sticking with Dave Stevens, that is full run of Johnny Quest just in their independent section. And to my shock, number 5 was in there. So I thought this book was worth a lot more than it was. I know it demanded quite a premium a couple of years ago when Dave Stevens was really hot, but $6 is still a good price. A spine this dark, it's tough to find in high grade. This one's not the best, but what you really care about on this cover is still looking good. So always happy to find Dave Stevens for under $10, no matter the grade. And bringing these back in the same box, there is a full run of DN Agents, and of course number 24 was gone, but that would have been even sicker if that was in there too. Then the next section I decided to check out were the modern variants, and I got real lucky with this guy. So they wanted $5 for this. This is the oh my god, his name. Yes, this is the Yasmin Putri cover B variant for Nightwing number 54. These Nightwing cover Bs have been hot for a little while now, and I'm surprised this book hasn't slowed down. So recent sales have been about like $50 or $60 for it, but listings are absolutely ridiculous. People are asking like $120 or $150 for this book. So pretty stoked to find it for $5. Always keep my eyes out for these DC cover B variants. Shout out to Carter for the heads up on that. And then the next time I went back to the shop, I didn't have a $20 limit. I figured I'd let myself loose and see what books I could find. So sticking with Nightwing, they had another modern variant section that I didn't know about. So went right to the Nightwing section, of course, and found number 80, about a $30 book, $20 to $30 book. I forgot who does this cover. And then the next one is number 87 by Jamal Campbell. I personally wouldn't buy books like these for myself. They're made for someone out there, but this is like a $40 to $50 book, and got both these for cover. Then the next couple books that I found were in an unmarked bin that they were just putting out new books that haven't been priced yet. And I found some old Adam Hughes, Legends of the Stargazers, Grazers, number 1, and then the popular book from the run, number 3, Little Bondage Action. I was only going to pick up this one, but this copy was ridiculously high grade. I wish this guy was as nice as this, but they asked $5 for both of them, so scooped them up. And then in that same box, they had some old Archies. So walked away with Archie 125. Really cool Frankenstein cover. And then Jughead number 78. I think the next issue, or the issue prior to this Jughead book, is the Creature from the Black Lagoon issue, where he's creeping out of the swimming pool, and they're like, what the hell is that in the background? Both these guys were $10. Really cool, nice presenting copies. There's some on eBay, I want to say, but they're a lot more than $10. And the final book that I picked up in that stop at the shop was DC Comics Presents number 26. This is a probably good to VG minus copy. It does have some water standing at the bottom, but do I have the price on this still? No, but I paid $30 for it. This is a book I recognize. I've had it before and let it go, but it has a pretty high floor, no matter what the grade is. Even beat the shit copies are still selling anywhere from $60 to $80. So $30 seemed like a really good deal to me, and happy to have this back in the collection. Let me get situated. Next was the antique store that I went to. I was shopping, just walking around the neighborhood, looking at shops and stuff, and stumbled across a vintage mall, and I figured I'd see what if they had any comics in there, and I lucked out and was able to find some. First book that I actually saw when I went in there was Booster Gold number 1. It was just like in a knit basket with a bunch of magazines that had a $20 price point on it. I thought this was an incredible deal, but boy, has this book come down a lot. I remember this selling for like $100 to $140 raw in a high grade. This book is very high grade, as you can see by the spine. All the corners are very sharp and crispy. So got that for $20, rebagged and boarded, of course. Then the next few books that I got, in that same section too, they had some really cool heavy metal magazines. Holy crap, I'm forgetting the artist's name. Anyways, that is some other cool stuff, but the prices weren't that great, so I just walked away with that one. And then the next couple books I grabbed from another booth or vendor was X-Men 450 and X-Men 451. First, X-23 Wolverine crossover, pretty cool, and I forgot the significance of 451, but these were $15 together. Once again, I thought these were going for a bit more, but they're not. But happy to add them to the collection for fair market value. And then the last book that I bought from that vendor was X-Men 336. Kind of took the L on this one. Every time I see this book, I think it's the first Onslaught, but it's not. I should have probably realized that when it said Onslaught Phase 2. If it said Phase 1, maybe, but yeah, grab that for $3. Not too much harm there. And then the last book that I grabbed from this vintage shop was actually the first book I saw when I walked in. I had to go back the next day and buy it because I ran out of time. They were closing up and they're really trying to get my ass out of there. So I was only able to grab those 4 books. But the next day I went back and got this from their display cabinet. Superman, Man of Steel, number 18. The 5th print, DC Universe logo. They had this marked at $20. That had a small stack of comics in that case, actually. They had a couple prints of this one, and they're all marked at $20. So they clearly did not know the significance of that. This is one of the more sought after DC Universe variants, or at least it commands a premium, I would say. 9/8 for this book are ridiculous. This copy is not a 9/8, but still listings are anywhere from like $60 to $100. So $20 felt like a pretty good deal with that. Next up, showing off books I got from another LCS in the area. Showed it off last time, but the first time I was in there, I saw 2 really cool books that for really reasonable prices that I had to get. So my haul from my first stop there in September were these guys. So Son of Hulk number 1. Thought this book was something. It wasn't. That was $4. I didn't pay the price marked on any of these. I'll tell you what I paid for this bundle when I'm done showing them off. Batman Dark Knight number 3. Picked this up at the time when White Rabbit was supposed to be in the Peacemaker season 2. Didn't play a big part in it, but marked the $2 for it. I figured I'd grab it. Mr. Miracle number 1. This is the Tom King miniseries. Pretty hot book. Probably like $30 to $40 online. Marked at 75 cents. And I grabbed Static number 27 and number 26. And then in the same $2 section, I was blown away to find super high grade copies of these. So got V for Vendetta number 3, number 2, and number 1. All of these are super crispy, look like they're right off the newsstand, and those are $2 a pop. Love this story by Alan Moore, and so it also has a special place in my heart as my birthday is November 5th. So this is always a good joke with my buddies and I. I always get V for Vendetta gifts on my birthday, so that's really cool. And then the book that I went in there for was this guy that they had in their on their wall. We got Mark Spears Monsters number 1. This is the second print, 1 in 20 or 1 in 25 ratio variant with the John Carpenter Halloween homage. And this is probably my favorite Mark Spears book. Love Michael Myers, and for it to be a second print high ratio variant, it doesn't come. That means it doesn't come up too often, or not as often as some of the other books. So I think this guy and his Kickstarter books are the books to have from the run. So he had this marked at 110, and all the books that I showed off, he said he'd do 100 cash for all of them. So I think I walked away with a really damn good deal. Now, when I was in there that time, I saw another book that caught my eye that I also thought was a pretty damn good price. So we did a little bundle again. I'll show you that book, that bigger book at the end. But on that stop, my second stop at the shop in September and October, I grabbed Betty and Veronica number 1. That was just in the dollar bin or whatever. Nightwing number 74, cover B variant. This isn't worth anything, but I've kind of just gotten into the habit of picking up all the DC cover B variants I see from this time. On that same note, got Shazam number 6, cover B. And then I grabbed some Creature Commandos. So got number 108, 110, 111, 113, 114, and 115. Nothing too significant about any of those. I know I just completed my 1 through 15 run in the last haul, but anything outside of that, if the price is right, I'll scoop it up. And then one of the second to last book that I got was Swamp Thing Annual number 2. Another great Alan Moore book. This is the first full appearance of Justice League Dark. Yeah, no price on it, but the main book that I went back for was Star Wars number 3, First Dr. Aphra. This is the 1 in 25 La Roca variant. Another book that has come way back down to earth. Star Wars is not what it used to be, unfortunately, but I think this is just such a cool book that has a little bit of upside left in it, especially at this grade. So he had 125 marked on it. I'm not sure if he realized this was the variant or if and he just priced it as a standard copy of Darth Vader number 3, but 125 is ridiculous. I would say this is a 9.8 contender. 9.8 is still a pretty pricey book. I think the last auction that sold was about for $8.50, but a raw this high grade demands quite the premium. So what I paid for everything was $130 cash. So I paid sticker price for this, and then everything else that was shown off previously was pretty much $5. So great deal on that one. Okay, and then the last books that I got from that shop. This was by far the best visit I've had. I didn't get as big of books as I got in the last two trips I just showed off, but I got some bangers. So first book that I saw on the wall when I walked in that I grabbed instantly was Seduction of the Innocents 3D #1. Great Dave Stevens cover. Spine is split on this, and it is missing the glasses, unfortunately. That marked as 10. House of Horror #1. This is a Wallace, aka Wally Wood, reprint from a Golden Age book. I forgot the cover, the book that this is reprinting, but great copy. Got a blonde chick about to get taken away by those guys right there. Pretty sweet. Also got a Tales of Terror #7. Love this Eclipse horror stuff. And then I got really lucky finding some Red Hood and the Outlaw books. So this is another Yasmin Putri cover, Red Hood Outlaw #27. And then another Yasmin Putri Red Hood book, Red Hood and the Outlaw. Red Hood Outlaw #36. That was marked at 6. And then looking through some more unmarked, unpriced boxes, I found some Charlton Horror. So Beyond the Grave #9. This is a pricier book. I didn't realize it was that expensive when I grabbed it. I thought it was just a great cover, but in this condition, it's about a $40 to $50 ask on eBay. Awesome Grim Reaper cover. About to give it to that blonde that fell over. Really cool book. And then I found another, this book was in that same box. Another DC Universe variant. Green Lantern #48. This is a cool book in general. First Kyle Rayner, it's Green Lantern, but then this DC Universe variant commands quite the premium as well. Want to say it's like a $50 to $80 book raw. It's somewhere in that window. No price on it, but I'll tell you what I paid for all of these after this one. And then he had this book. He was pricing it on his counter. He said, I want nothing to do with this shop. Just with this book, just take it out of the shop for me because it creeps me out. But this is Psycho Killers #8. This is the most sought after book in the run. The John Wayne Gacy issue, the killer clown from the Chicagoland area. My mom actually grew up like down the block from where the shit was going on. So that's pretty nuts. So in this shape, it's easily $100 book. This thing is beautiful. If you take a look at the spine, oh yeah, great colors and everything. So for the haul, this was marked at 10. That was marked at 10. Just a raw book and everything. He said $40 for it all. So a ton of value in this low stack. A lot of really cool sought after books that you don't see every day. So I was skipping with joy walking out of that shop. Then to round things off, we got some Whatnot pickups. Wouldn't be a Cops Comic Haul without Cheese and Keys. I feel like I say that every time. So I think these are pickups from 2 shows of his. Don't remember when I got them in these 2 months, but first one that I got was Supernatural Thrillers #8. This was, I think I paid $14 for it, around fair market value. First Elementals, second Living Mummy, almost done with that run. Pretty happy about that. And then in that same show, he was bundling off two Detective comic books together. Detective Comics 105 and number 431. I figured if I picked up one book, might as well add another couple to it. Those were $6. And then in another show, very happy with this guy. We got All-Star Western, number 119. This is the final issue from the first volume. I just showed off number 10 from the second volume earlier, but this is a early 60s, late 50s book. Gorgeous cover. I know Westerns aren't that popular, but to find something that's considered rare like this, for $14 is what I won the auction for, is very cool. And then the freebies that he threw in for me were The Destroyer, number 1, Afterlife with Archie, number 1, and then 7 to Eternity, number 1. This is a variant, and it's probably like a $30 book. So $20 to $30 book. So to get that for free, shout out to you, Ben. If you haven't checked out one of Cheese and Keys Whatnot shows or his Instagram yet, you're missing out because he posts a ton of cool shit. So that's my haul. That's what I picked up between September and October of this past year. Really happy with all the books that I got and the prices I paid. So stay tuned for the November haul. Believe it or not, I think that tops this one. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and take care, everyone. Deuces.